Welcome back, 9:12 here on your Tuesday morning. Creating a meaningful presence at our state capitol for women and girls and making sure they have opportunities to succeed at work, at home, and in their communities. We are joined now by Liz Waggoner with the Oklahoma Women's Coalition. You're the executive director. Yes. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me.
Coming up next Monday, what's going to happen at the state capitol?
Well, the Women's Coalition has coordinated a day specific for women and men across the state to come to the state capitol to learn about the issues facing women and girls in Oklahoma and to engage with their legislators and decision makers and state leaders at the capitol around those issues.
Women and men also invited
Absolutely,
to join you.
Yes.
You need their help.
It takes all of us.
Right. And talk about what are those issues that you feel are of concern here for girls and women in our state?
So at the coalition, obviously, we could talk about a wide array of women's issues in Oklahoma. We try to prioritize those issues based on 4 areas: health and wellness for women, alternatives to incarceration, so that's all of our criminal justice reform efforts, substance abuse prevention programs, and then violence prevention, so that's victims' rights, ensuring that their rights are represented in the Constitution along with that of the perpetrators and offenders, and then economic security. We're really prioritizing economic security initiatives this session, this legislative session. Those are some of the issues that we'll be lobbying for at the Capitol.
Y'all were founded back in 2009.
Yes.
There was clearly a need. How have things been going, and how have you been received, and are you taken more seriously each year that you're there?
Absolutely. So the coalition was founded actually after a similar day like Oklahoma Women's Day, when Jean Warner and several other women in Oklahoma realized, you know, we come up here once a day or once a year, one day, to talk about women's issues, but there's no organization here representing women and girls every single day on a consistent basis, being that voice to champion those efforts. So that's why the coalition was founded, and previous leadership has done a tremendous job of establishing credibility and validity with the organization, building relationships with decision makers and legislators to advance women's issues. A lot of times it comes down to, you know, just education and awareness. Legislators want to do the right thing. They want to represent their constituents well, and over half of those constituents are women. So we are a resource to them, to ensure that they're making decisions and voting in a way that represents those women.
Do you face any resistance or people that feel this isn't necessary?
You know, I think a lot of times, regardless of the issue and how controversial or progressive it may feel initially, if you sit down and have a conversation, if you ask questions, if I'm ever met with a legislator who says, you know, I really don't know if I can support this, the most important question you can ask is why. Because a lot of times it comes from a personal place or a misunderstanding of what the legislation would even do. So it's all about open communication, which is the main reason we're having Oklahoma Women's Day. So constituents across the state, women across the state, can come and visit directly with their legislators and express the issues that are important to them, that matter to them.
And talk about your background and why you're so interested in becoming, you know, executive director. Why is it important to you to be a part of this organization?
Well, I am very passionate about the nonprofit sector. My parents were missionaries and pastors growing up, and so I kind of had a unique and firsthand experience in working directly with people, boots on the ground in direct service in communities. And I understand the value of advocacy and of using your voice, showing up at the Capitol to talk to the people who are responsible for making the decisions and representing our interests well. There's a statistic out there that says it only takes 7 or 8 touches, meaning conversations or emails or phone calls with the legislator to change their mind or to set their mind on a decision and the way that they're going to vote. That's not a lot. That's 7 or 8 people consistently and professionally, respectfully expressing their views and why they want their legislator to support that issue.
Yeah, that's very powerful. It only takes those few interactions.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure you've changed some minds.
Yeah, you know, it takes both sides. It takes people stepping up and engaging in issues that, unfortunately, women's issues are viewed progressive a little bit in Oklahoma, but we are working on both sides of the aisle. We're a nonpartisan organization working to ensure that the issues that we engage in are those that every woman can support, regardless of political affiliation.
And let's talk about next Monday again, the time, where you all will be meeting, who's invited.
Yes, so Oklahoma Women's Day will start at noon at the Oklahoma State Capitol on the 4th floor rotunda. We will have our member organizations. We are a coalition, so we love our member and partner organizations, and they'll be setting up booths in the 4th floor rotunda. We have Sandra Nafee coming, Kathy Taylor, former Tulsa mayor, and Sandra, former Edmond mayor, coming to talk about community engagement and advocacy. We have over 100 people registered to join us, so you won't be alone. It's not as intimidating as you think. We'll all be together and we'll have talking points around our issues, and also just give you an opportunity to express the things that you're passionate about. Talk to your legislators and ask questions about issues that are important to you.
And your website, so folks can go there, because I know you can just show up, but you'd rather them register just so that you know they're coming.
We want to make sure we have the resources you need, and we might even have some food for you. So we want to make sure we have you accounted for. Yes, the website is www.okwc.org, or you can find our event on Facebook as well.
Liz, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.
And let us know how next Monday goes.
Absolutely.
Eager to hear about it.
Thank you.
All